Hello, and thank you for watching AssetTV. Joining us now is Chris Blodgett, founder of Crescent Capital Planning, and he's also with the Cetera Advisors community. Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us today.
Jenna, thank you.
So, Chris, for starters, what are some common issues facing the African American community and minorities when it comes to estate planning, and how are you helping them to solve those issues?
Well, I think that there is an inherent lack of trust and access within the African American and minority communities, as well as stigma. So, historically, access to quality advice and um, affordability was something that kind of held people back. There's a study that came out from AARP that said only 26% of African Americans and minorities have their state financial documents in place, which means 3/4 of people have some help that might be needed. So I definitely think that there's a lot of work to be done in that area.
A lot of work to be done, but you're helping to change that.
Yes, yes. So, part of, my job as a planner is to go in and identify when there's needs that aren't being met and areas where we can find, where we can help clients. And so one of the things that we do when we're doing the planning and we get to the part of what's going to happen when you can't make decisions, or what's going to happen when you're no longer here, or what's going to happen if you end up in the hospital, and all those questions that we start to identify, and we want to make sure that we have documents in place, healthcare proxy, financial powers, maybe a trust, some type of will if that's necessary. Generally, that's included as part of the process and everything. So, I try to get around kind of that stigma and say, we need to have this conversation. And I fortunately and unfortunately have experienced it personally. So I definitely think that it's something that's really important that we want to bring to our clients.
Yeah, those are all very important issues. Now, could you share some of the other issues facing people nearing retirement?
Sure. A couple of the issues that we've identified are people living longer. There's always a fear of running out of money, and then the cost of everything increasing year over year. One of the big areas that we tend to focus on is healthcare planning. So making sure that there's an appropriate amount of healthcare in place, because we know that that tends to be one of the larger expenses that individuals will have over their lifetime.
And you're also active in the Cetera Black Advisor community. How are you making a difference there?
Yeah, so about a year ago, I got involved in the Cetera Black Advisor Council community as just a member, really engaging the community as a whole, knowing that when I got into the industry in my mid-20s, I was representing less than 3% of the industry under the age of 30, and also an African-American individual as well. So, I think it's important, and I think it's a growing area. And frankly, it's been one of my fastest growing areas in business year to date. So there's definitely a need out there to, work with people that that traditionally feel uncomfortable in that space.
And Connect to Impact is one of those outlets that you get together and you brainstorm.
Yeah, so Connect to Impact is something that we look at within Cetera to be involved in the community. One of the things that I'm really fond of is, and Cetera does this really well, is whenever we, have a footprint somewhere, we leave a positive impact on the community. And one of the areas that, I think Cetera does really well in is the Caring Cetera program. And so with Caring Cetera, anytime we went to one of these conferences, they've raised a good amount of money to help out whatever the initiative is at that time.
And Chris, you're very active in the Cetera conference circuit. So how are you using these events to help you better serve your clients, and what are you getting out of them?
So this is the 4th year I've attended the Connect to Peers conference, and it's something that I find a lot of value in For one, it gives me the opportunity to connect with advisors that I haven't seen for a year or more. For two, I always learn something that I can bring back. And then the third thing is it lets me know that I'm not on an island by myself. So, just staying connected in the community, learning from people that have been here a lot longer than I've been in the industry, but also learning some of the newer things that some of the people that are coming behind me, as far as newer in the industry, are doing, and taking that back and helping to grow the practice.
And for someone who hasn't attended one of these events in the past, what's the atmosphere like at these events?
The atmosphere is really welcoming. I might not talk to someone for, maybe a year or so, but when I come back and we, have a chance to connect, it's like we don't miss a beat. A good friend of mine, we've been coming to various Cetera conferences for probably greater than 6 years. He always calls me and says, "Hey, Chris, are you coming down? Let's grab lunch, let's connect, let's see what you're doing," and everything like that. So I think that for us to have, that connection and, help each other grow is important.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Jenna.
And thank you to everyone watching. Once again, that was Chris Blodgett with Crescent Capital Planning and Cetera Advisors. I'm Jenna Dagenhart with AssetTV.